Hi, so in this video we're going to cover storage limits. So Amazon's been changing the rules around a little bit. People are still very confused as to how these are working. Before, you were pretty unlimited as to how much goods you could store in the Amazon warehouses. And then recently Amazon changed that to a per product unit limit, and then it changed again to storage limits based on the IPI score. And who knows, it can change again in the next few months. But one thing is very clear, and the trend is here to stay, is that Amazon is allowing much less storage than it did before. And the reasons for this is probably it's just a huge cost for them to store all of that inventory for sellers, and it's much better they have a month or two of stock and let the sellers be responsible for managing all the inventory management to make sure that they deliver all the products on time. Of course, Amazon wants to keep your products in their warehouse, but they only really want 2 to 4 weeks worth of product to make sure they can get it out to customers. Anything longer than that, they want you to keep hold of and ship really just in time. So the current system is based on the IPI score, and we have a detailed video on this, so you can head over, find that, and you can watch that too to understand it better. But really, the IPI score is made up of how many units you're selling versus how much stock you have, whether you're out of stock, whether you have abandoned stock. It's really down to what you want to be doing is keeping as little stock in Amazon as possible versus your sales. So let's say you're selling 1,000 units a month. Then really in Amazon, you don't really want more than 1,000 units of stock for that product. And your scores will improve if you have even less. So if you can keep 500 units in stock, then your score is going to improve. How can you do this? Well, you're going to need to have a third-party warehouse, and we'll cover that in just a second. But really, the formula is how much you sell versus how much you keep in Amazon, and you want to keep those numbers on the stock side as low as possible. Okay, so knowing that Amazon wants to keep stock really low, what do? Let's say you ordered 5,000 units from your supplier. It's better to ship 4,500 of those to your own separate warehouse, and I don't mean you actually have to rent a whole warehouse yourself. There are a lot of Amazon warehouse providers that can help provide this service for you. There's dozens and dozens of them. You just need to Google or ask in the Facebook groups and you'll be able to find some. And they all have different pricing, so if I was you, I would get quotes from say 5 to 10 warehouses and then compare what makes sense for your business and your products, because the pricing is quite different. So then you're shipping your product from your supplier into your warehouse, your third-party warehouse provider, and shipping just part of the order into Amazon directly or none of it. The way we work at the moment is we ship the full order, 5,000 units, straight into the warehouse, and then every week we check the inventory and then ship into Amazon, usually aiming to keep 2 to 4 weeks worth of stock in Amazon. So again, back to the example, if we had 1,000 units a month being sold of a product, 5,000 units in our warehouse, and then as soon as that 1,000 units in stock in Amazon gets to around the 500 mark, we'll ship in the next 500 units into Amazon and just keep doing that. But really what we're using is a formulation based on the number of days of stock, not really the number of units. So if we're selling 10 a day times 2 weeks is 140 units. We work off how many we're selling a day on average times 2 weeks worth of stock, and that's what we ship in. And the secret behind all of this is weekly checks. If you're on top of your inventory, if you're checking your inventory weekly, it's very unlikely you're going to get suddenly caught out. And yes, your stock levels may not change that much week to week and you feel like you shouldn't do it, but suddenly you can find that your sales pick up, or I should be placing a new purchase order to my supplier, or the supplier's lead times expanded, or you find out shipping times are getting longer and more expensive. If you're checking on what's happening with your stock weekly, every Monday for example, then you know exactly when to order, how much, and you're on top of everything. If you do it less frequently, you might get caught out. So you can hire someone, you can hire a VA to check for you, you can use a tool like Zillionaire to check for you. And basically the key really is to monitor how much stock you have in Amazon, how much stock is in your own warehouse, and how much is with the supplier being made, and when you need to place purchase orders. But by always having a couple of months extra stock in your own warehouse separate to Amazon, you've got that buffer that lets you then have some space in case your Amazon sales start picking up. You can send in more from your warehouse, reorder from your supplier, refill up your warehouse again. But if you're keeping things to minimal stock levels where you're shipping into Amazon only when you're running out, then you're risking going out of stock. And going out of stock and losing rank is probably the worst thing you can do, especially at peak seasonal times like Q4 during the year. Are you looking to grow your Amazon business? Zillionaire is the best Amazon metrics software. It has dozens of great features, including real-time profit and loss, inventory management, Amazon PPC ad optimization, custom dashboards, and much, much more. Head on over to zillionaire.com and sign up today. The link is in the description below.